Hello. Thank you for joining me. My name is Brooke Sullivan Brown, functional health and lifestyle coach. Today, I want to talk about how to kick the habit of sugar cravings, even if you feel like you don't have any willpower. I'm so excited that you're here today because we're going to talk about three little known strategies for kicking your sugar craving to the curb. Before we get started, I've got a question for you. Do you try to eat healthy but end up feeling like you must have sugar, which leaves you feeling like your sugar cravings are controlling you? You can give up that stressful, never-ending inner struggle. Now, don't misunderstand me here. The goal isn't that you're never going to have a sweet treat again. The goal is to diminish that nagging, I must have this feeling, I must have this now feeling. So you can be more in control while still eating and enjoying a treat here and there. When you do kick these cravings, you'll find that you have much more energy, and if you've been struggling with your weight, you'll effortlessly let go of some of that extra padding, that extra fat that you've been carrying around. Imagine if you could have one slice of birthday cake instead of three. Imagine if you could go through your day without needing a sugar fix. Imagine if excess weight started to release without you having to try very hard at all. Imagine being able to get through your day with more energy than ever before, and energy that's stable throughout the day. Are these things like that you'd like to achieve? If so, you're in the right place. Almost every client I work with has experienced sugar cravings on a daily basis, but they're really not sure why. It's a mystery to them why they want something so badly and why they can't stop reaching for that piece of candy or sugary treat, even when they do try. If you're experiencing sugar cravings, it's likely that one of two things is happening. Either you regularly give in to the craving, creating a cycle of sugar habits, sugar highs, crashes, and cravings, or you hold out, relying on your willpower alone, and at some point give in to the urge to binge when you just can't take it anymore, which creates an emotional spiraling effect. Then what follows is self-talk, and that binge is brutal. So if you're like me, both of these approaches have left you consistently feeling guilty about what you're eating and your inability to be in control. Who here feels guilt on almost a daily basis? Raise your hand. For me, those feelings of guilt and frustration about not being in control of my weight were the worst. For years, they ate at me and really impacted my happiness, my energy, and how I felt about myself. I want to show you a better way. That's why I've packed this talk with strategies that you can put into action right away. You know you're in the right place today. You're in the right place today if you've tried every diet out there, but nothing has worked in the long run to achieve and maintain your ideal weight. You're in the right place today if you can't get through the day without eating sugar. And you're in the right place if you're frankly just sick of feeling out of control of your diet, like sugar is behind the wheel instead of you. You can have a diet that doesn't make you feel this way and without feeling deprived. It is possible. Let me share my story with sugar. That's me at 22 and about 40 pounds heavier than I am now. I don't know if this was taken before or after my first wedding, but let me just tell you a story. I found a dress that I loved for my wedding. It was simple, elegant, and form-fitting. It had a sheer duster that went over it. I rationalized that it would hide my body. I kept telling myself that I just needed to lose 5 pounds. Just lose 5 pounds and it'll be fine. Lose 5 pounds was my mantra that I heard growing up. Well, when I got to Vegas for my wedding, I ended up doing a little last minute shopping run because I realized that I would not be able to sit down during my dinner without either really being really uncomfortable or splitting the dress. So I got a dress that made me look like I was in high school, but at least I could sit down. That was the moment that I realized that I did have a problem. It wasn't just as simple as lose 5 pounds. 2 years later, I ditched the husband and my extra baggage. So I guess you could say that I lost about 300 pounds of unwanted weight. I did keep that dress and try it on every once in a while just to remind myself how far I've come in my journey. My entire life I've been dieting. I even did Weight Watchers with my mom when I was 11 or so. Who does that? I think during my early 20s was the worst. I was constantly controlled by sugar. I needed a cup of coffee loaded with sugar and cream when I woke up, and another one mid-morning, along with some kind of muffin or something. And then after lunch, I'd get another coffee and maybe even a piece of chocolate. And then at night, I'd sit in front of the TV eating my treat of choice, which at the time was Ben and Jerry's ice cream, mostly. I would eat the entire pint in one sitting. And if that was not around, a white tortilla with butter and brown sugar. My cravings were the strongest at night when I was exhausted from waiting tables. After my shift, I felt like I deserved a glass of wine, or three, in addition to my treat of choice that I ate when I got home from work. At the time, I didn't realize how sugar was affecting me. I knew I was tired, and I was struggling with my weight. I also had brain fog, low energy, bad skin, and probably a little bit of depression. Little did I know it was connected to my sugar consumption. I thought I should feel better since I had ditched the husband and was focused on life after divorce. I was trying lots of things, lots of diets that weren't working for me, and I was frustrated. I even bought a program off of QVC. You see, I continued to struggle because I wasn't addressing my sugar cravings, my sugar consumption, or my personal stresses. My low point was when I put myself on a restricted diet because I was desperate to gain control over my diet and lose that last bit of weight. But it was impossible to stick to because I still had those nagging cravings. I eventually studied about food and nutrition and learned why I was having the cravings, and that was the game changer for me. I finally felt the freedom with food and learned how to eat foods I enjoy that also satisfied my sweet tooth while losing that last bit of weight. The result? I took off a total of 30 pounds. I started using this process with my clients, and they found that they lost weight without dieting, got control back over their food, had more energy and didn't have that crash, didn't feel the need for sugar much anymore, and that led me to create the 21-day sugar detox. I'm curious, what is your sugar story like? What time of day do you crave sugar? What time of day do your cravings strike? What's your go-to treat? Can you tell if your cravings are blood sugar driven or emotionally driven? And how do sweets make you feel? What emotions are you feeling when you turn to sweets? So, would you like to end your nagging sugar cravings? Yes, and yes, right? What we're going to cover today: the 7 culprits that make your sugar cravings worse and keep you from losing weight, 3 little-known strategies for kicking your sugar cravings to the curb, exactly how and why sugar impacts your metabolism, why sugar is secretly forcing your body to hold on to excess weight, how you can create your own plan and kick the cravings for good. I'm going to share as much as I can in the time that we have today. Plus, I'll be sharing a few great resources on how you can take this work even further. And for those of you who are really action takers and want to have my personal help, I'll be sharing a way to get that too. But no matter what, you can use this information right away to create change with your sugar cravings so that you can start losing weight now. So let's dive in and talk about the 7 culprits that make your sugar cravings worse and keep you from losing weight. The 7 culprits are, obviously, number 1, eating too much sugar. Number 2, consuming foods that stall your metabolism. Number 3, having an unbalanced hormones. Number 4, not exercising in a way that accelerates fat loss. Eating on the go and not having good meals prepped. Undiagnosed food sensitivities. Being too stressed out and not getting enough sleep. Now, we don't have time to go into all of these today, but I'm going to help you with the one that will give you the quickest win. And it's eating sugar. I know that if you're struggling with nagging sugar cravings, you've probably tried to eat less of it, but found it really challenging because your cravings keep nagging at you. So let's talk about why your cravings are so strong and won't go away. Let's talk about some of the science behind why eating sugar actually makes your cravings much worse. Studies done with rats have proven this. There was a study done with rats in Bordeaux, France, where researchers reported that when rats were allowed to choose mutually exclusively between water sweetened with saccharin, an intense calorie-free sweetener, and intravenous cocaine, which we know is highly addictive and harmful, the large majority of the animals preferred the sweet taste of saccharin. And before you assume it was just saccharin that was addictive, they also did the experiment with simple table sugar as well. The researchers found the same results. Sugar proved to be more addictive than cocaine. So if your sugar cravings sometimes cause you to feel like an addict, there's good reason why, and you're not alone. And unfortunately, sugar is a tricky beast. It hides in some of the most unexpected places. And until you're accustomed to its many disguises, you may not even recognize that you are eating it. By eating sugar, you also rob your body of vital nutrients such as vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, chromium, and vitamin C. Because magnesium and chromium in particular are responsible for regulating blood sugar levels, disrupting their process by removing these valuable minerals can lead to even more blood sugar dysregulation, which in turn can reduce your energy and exacerbate the cycle of cravings. Sugar also directly competes with vitamin C. Vitamin C is a huge player for illness resistance. Sugar directly inspires inflammation, and folks, chronic inflammation creates a diseased state. Sugar feeds tumor growth. Yes, like the big C type tumors, because tumors feed on sugar. And with mineral depletion, the endocrine system gets hit the hardest. So your hormones, those little chemical messengers that tell your body how to function, with mineral depletion, the mechanisms for determining hunger and satiety are also compromised, leading you to, can you guess it? Yep, overeating and weight gain. So I want to touch on magnesium for a moment. I find that magnesium is one of our most vital nutrients. With the consumption of sugar, which depletes this vital mineral, magnesium regulates more than 325 enzymes in the body. It orchestrates the electrical current that sparks through the nerves in our body. This mineral supports the activity of the heart, muscle, blood pressure, and blood flow. This mineral modulates and controls the release of calcium from the cells, and it's also a key in the function of neurotransmitters and their receptors. So as you can see, magnesium is a pretty important mineral, and this is just one of the minerals that sugar depletes. One of the golden nuggets I want you to take away today is that the more sugar you eat, the more you're going to crave it. For instance, have you ever eaten a handful of trail mix mid-morning thinking it was a healthy snack? Then by the time lunch rolled around, you're full from the trail mix because you've overeaten? which caused you to replace your intended healthy meal? That was a sugar craving taking over. This used to happen to me all the time, and I just thought I had no self control. But the truth is that this happens because that so called healthy snack, such as trail mix, contains hidden sugars in the form of sweetened dried fruit or chocolate, which ramps up your body's cravings and makes it more likely that you'll keep that sugar cycle going. See, one of sugar's most insidious traits is that it is in so many foods that we eat, even foods we don't even think of as being sweet, or foods we think of as being healthy. Sugar is hidden everywhere. And one of the reasons it's available to hide is that there's so many different names for sugar. There are over 60 different names for sugar, and here are just a few. I've even included the naturally occurring ones too, such as honey and molasses. Now, while they have a vast amount of health benefits, consuming any type of sugar in any form uses B vitamins to break it down. So if you're consuming all natural sugars but eating a lot of them, you're depleting your body of your vital B vitamins. So here's just a few: cane juice, maltodextrin, dextrose, high fructose corn syrup, palm sugar, barley malt, fruit juice concentrate, natural flavors, and you can see that there's many more names listed here. Believe it or not, pure sugar, as well as these hidden forms of sugar, are making your sugar cravings even worse. Even if you are only using honey and molasses or tornado sugar, if you are using them regularly and a lot, you are still adding to your sugar cravings. Then we assume that having a sweet will satisfy the sugar cravings and we won't crave it, but that's not true either. Once you start, you can't stop. Unfortunately, sugar comes in many, many forms, but the one thing that they all have in common is that they cause similar reactions in the body, a rapid cycle of sugar high and crashes that leave us craving more. I want to give you a pro tip here. Look at ingredient labels. You may have learned to look at labels for calories, fat, and protein, but I want to show you a different way to look at a label. Look at the ingredient labels on the food in your pantry. You might be surprised at what you find. This is one of the pieces that my clients get really good at, zeroing in on the hidden sugars and learning how to remove and replace these foods with healthier options that they enjoy and are delicious. That way they don't feel deprived. And you can do this too. When you do this, expect two huge results: stable energy. So instead of undergoing a constant cycle of cravings and sugar crashes, your body will be able to effectively use the nutrients it needs to stay full and fuel you with constant energy. And two, the ability to naturally let go of excess weight. Reduce your sugar intake, and your attempts to lose weight and feel better will not only work, they may feel relatively effortless. When you read food labels, remember that 4 grams of sugar equals 1 teaspoon. I'm going to say that again. 4 grams of sugar equals 1 teaspoon. The FDA recommends no more than 25 grams of sugar or 4 teaspoons a day. The average American consuming about 125 grams of sugar a day. Here are a few examples of some of the foods that may look healthy that contain hidden sugar. Nature Valley Trail Mix granola bars contain 13 grams of sugar. That's over 3 teaspoons. And that only allows you 12 more grams of sugar for the entire day. Campbell's Vegetable Medley Soup at hand contains high fructose corn syrup, which is one of the most refined and is the most addictive form of sugar. Dried pineapple contains added sugar. Ritz toasted chips contains high fructose corn syrup, and sugar. Why do they need two sweeteners? I've even recently bought a plain rotisserie chicken to find out later that it had added sugar. So, pro tip here, most items in a bag or a box have added sugar in them in some way, shape, or form. So, one way to decrease your sugar cravings is to start being a food detective, and also shop offensively. By that, I mean shop around the perimeter of the store. Let me share Sally's story with you. Sally says when she started the 21-day detox, she felt more in control of her diet and lost 5 pounds in the first month. See, how this worked for one of her for Sally, when she came to me, she felt like she needed a sugar fix every couple hours. But when she started reading ingredient labels and became aware that she was consuming hidden sugar in her morning yogurt and granola, her salad dressing, and the peanut butter she was eating, she was able to replace those foods with variations that didn't have added sugar. And that's when she started to see her cravings decline. Her addiction dramatically decreased as well. Now that you know why eating sugar is making your cravings worse, here are three little known strategies to help you kick your sugar craving to the curb. Strategy number one is learning how to eat in balance. This is something that most people aren't talking about. It's one of my secret weapons for kicking sugar cravings. Traditional nutritionists talk about food in terms of calorie, grams of fat, carbohydrates, proteins, etc. I prefer to look at it as using a system called yin and yang. You probably heard of yin and yang. It's a Chinese system of opposites, light and dark, masculine, feminine, day and night. It is a theory that you cannot have one without the other. In dark, you will find light. In light, you will find dark. Now, you're probably wondering how this applies to food. I want to show you a picture of a spectrum. On one end of the spectrum are extreme yin foods, and on the other end are extreme yang foods. Extreme yin foods are sugar, candy, soda, ice cream, and alcohol. These foods make us feel very yin, light, happy, spacey, the same way you might feel after a massage. On the other end of the spectrum are the extreme yang foods, cheese, red meat, eggs, and salt or salty foods. These foods make us contractive, grounded, and aggressive. Think about how you feel after lifting weights or a very challenging workout. You may be thinking, okay, Brooke, I'm following you, but what does this have to do with cravings? So now I want to show you a picture of yin and yang spectrum as a seesaw with yin sitting on one side and yang sitting on the other. When we eat foods that are very yang, it causes the seesaw to tilt up. But our body wants to be in balance, so we crave a very yin food. Our body thinks that by eating the yin food that it will balance us out. But what happens? Eating these yin foods causes us to tilt in the other direction. You can see how this game of seesaw can start a never-ending cycle. Let me share a story of one of my clients to show you how this can play out. My client Jane used to wake up, eat a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios, and feel okay for an hour or two. Then she'd feel tired and drained, so she'd eat another sugary, carb-loaded treat. She worked in an office where there was always access to some kind of muffin or donuts in the break room. So she'd eat one of these even though she had every intention of quote unquote being good. Those muffins and donuts were just calling to her and she couldn't resist them. Those muffins and donuts are very yin. She'd then feel better until lunch, but now she'd crave a burger, which is very yang, because her body thought this would balance her out from the yin donut she ate previously. After lunch, she'd feel like she needed a sweet treat to balance things out again, so she'd have a cookie and a coffee with sugar, again flipping back to the yin side. So now you can see this ping pong effect, right? From yin to yang that keeps on going and going. Well, Jane found this incredibly frustrating. She couldn't get a handle on her diet. So can you see why you'd want to avoid this cycle? And how to avoid it is to start incorporating more foods that exist in the middle of the spectrum. These are balanced foods. Let's talk about foods that would fit into the balanced category. Your pro tip here is to eat balanced foods such as whole grains, beans, nuts, seeds, and vegetables, which will keep the seesaw from tipping one way or another and you in control of your sugar cravings. So, your action step is to notice when you're experiencing the seesaw effect and to incorporate more balanced foods into your diet. What you'll experience is a reduction in both sweet and salty cravings. It's very effective, and I'm really excited for you to check it out. See how this worked for my client Elizabeth. She was a stay at home mom with young children. When she came to me, she was keeping a private stash of candy in her pantry where her children and husband wouldn't find it. As soon as her children went down for their nap in the afternoon, she got intense cravings, and guess where she went? Yep, straight to her hidden stash of candy. She did this every day. What she found when we worked together over the course of a month is that her cravings dramatically decreased when she started eating a more balanced foods. She was able to get rid of the candy bag and replace it with options that felt like a treat but gave her stable energy. And she lost a few pounds just by implementing this one shift. This could be your story too. Strategy number 2, eat the right carbs for kicking your sugar cravings to the curb. And that is eating the right carbs because certain types of carbs may be unknowingly affecting your sugar cravings. In the last few years, carbs have they've become some kind of bad word. And there's a lot of confusion here around carbs. A lot of clients I work with are afraid to eat any carbs, but it's important to distinguish between the types of carbohydrates because they're not all created equal. The two types of carbohydrates are simple and complex. First, I'm going to explain what simple carbs are and how they affect your body and your cravings. Simple carbohydrates are refined, meaning that they are foods that have been stripped of nutrients and fiber. They are your white foods. Some examples of simple carbs include all forms of sugar, fruit juice, candy, soda, cake, white flour products such as breads, pastas, crackers, chips. Just a quick check-in with yourself. How often are you eating these types of foods? And let's walk you through what happens when you eat simple carbohydrates. When you eat simple carbohydrates, which don't have fiber or nutrients, your body quickly turns them into glucose, which is the body's form of sugar, also known as your blood sugar. When glucose floods the bloodstream, it kicks off a cycle of hormonal responses. Let's break down exactly what happens. Let's say you eat a muffin or eat a sugary-laden granola bar or some kind of white pasta. Very quickly, your body breaks the sugar down and turns it into glucose. This is when you experience an energy high or sugar high that comes right after consuming simple carbs. So glucose is rapidly flooding your system. This is seen as an emergency by your body because you have too much glucose in your system, or more than your body can use at the present time. So as a response, there's a hormone that's released by your pancreas to clean up the extra sugar and remove it from your bloodstream. The hormone is the one that I am referring to, you've all heard of, is insulin. It's insulin's job to remove the excess glucose from your bloodstream and move it into more useful places. This might mean into your cells where it can be used for immediate energy use. Now, I'd like to point out that everything we eat turns into glucose for our cells to use as energy. It's not a bad thing to consume foods that quickly turn to glucose in certain situations. Those situations would be before a workout, during a strenuous and continuous workout, such as a competition or long bike ride. You do need foods that quickly convert in some situations. The difference here is that your body is using the glucose immediately. You experience an energy peak right after consuming simple carbs, but it quickly dissipates once the extra glucose leaves your bloodstream. And that makes your body want more energy, more glucose, so you crave sugar again. To show you more visually, let's say you start your day with a flavored coffee. You get a burst of energy, but then your blood sugar rises, just like we've talked about, and your body stores the sugar as fat. Then, as your sugar levels fall, you go into a craving cycle. Also, the rapid removal of glucose from your bloodstream and the regular cycles of sugar highs and crashes make stable long term energy hard to find. When your blood sugar dips too low, you'll go for the sweetest thing you can find because your body is smart and wants to get your blood sugar back up. But this just puts you back into the craving cycle all day long. As you can see, eating simple carbohydrates causes you to have stronger cravings, messes with your hormones and your metabolism, and turns your life into an energy roller coaster. Plus, when you have enough glucose in your cells already, glucose is metabolized into fats and stored in fat cells, leading to weight gain. And to make matters worse, sugar adversely affects your metabolism and stops you from burning fat, and it causes fatigue and weight gain. How many of you have ever felt tired after Starbucks, even though you had caffeine? You see, every time your blood sugar is high after eating a sugary snack or beverage, that fructose in your body turns you into fat storage mode. So, as you can see, eating simple carbohydrates causes you to have stronger cravings, messes with your hormones and metabolism, and turns your life again into an energy roller coaster. Not all carbs are bad, and in fact, we do need them. Now let's talk about complex carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates affect your body in very differently, and it's important to understand. It's easy to assume that a calorie is a calorie is a calorie, but that isn't true. When you eat 100 calories of sugar, your body turns it to burn it immediately. Tries to burn it immediately, store it, or otherwise get rid of it. And that causes the crave and crash cycle that we've been discussing. When you eat 100 calories of a complex carb, fat, or protein, however, your body burns these calories slowly to produce long-term energy. This not only fuels your body, it prevents the damaging crave and crash cycle. Examples of complex carbohydrates include whole grains such as brown rice, steel-cut oats, quinoa, millet, spelt, vegetables, beans, nuts, and fruit. Complex carbohydrates are high in fiber and high in nutrients. This means that, unlike simple carbohydrates, they're broken down very slowly by your body and they actually help stabilize your blood sugar levels, keep your energy at an even level, and help you feel satisfied longer after your meal. Instead of the roller coaster effect, you get a steady stream of energy and a more balanced blood sugar. This also means fewer cravings. So remember, carbs aren't all bad. You need them, but you just have to choose them wisely. Now let's talk about something that trips up a lot of people when trying to make the right carbohydrate choice, and that is fake complex carbs. These might look like complex carbs, but they're affecting your body in just the same way as simple carbs do. And these are your White pastas, white breads, white rice, bagels, and muffins. These foods were once complex because they came from grain, but they have been processed so much that all the good stuff, the fiber and the nutrients, are removed. The effect of these foods on the body is exactly the same as eating simple carbohydrates. You get a rush of extra glucose in the bloodstream, insulin appears to mop up the mess, and you crave more sugar once the insulin is gone. And instead of looking for stabilizing foods, your body tells you to seek more sweet stuff. Part of the problem is that you don't want to remove all the sugar from your bloodstream because that's what causes a feeling of depletion and energy fatigue. So here's an action step. Start practicing choosing the right carbs. So next time you go out to dinner, ask for bright brown rice instead of white and see if that moderates some of that crash. Instead of starting your day with an iced mocha frappuccino and a muffin, try a bowl of oats, berries, some superfoods like the blueberry mussolini recipe that's in my healthy sweets that satisfy your sugar, your sweet tooth recipe guide. My client Jane got amazing results by following this tip. She had been eating a bagel for breakfast, a sandwich for lunch, and then pasta for dinner. Once she understood that these were really fake complex carbohydrates, she made some swaps for healthy complex carbs. She started eating healthy granola with no sugar added for breakfast. She had more salads for lunch with lots of veggies and nuts, and she started incorporating more brown rice and quinoa with her dinners. What happened for her is that she felt more satisfied with her foods, had fewer cravings, and she went down a whole pant size in 2 months. So now you might be concerned that you have to cut out all sweets that you've been eating. But the good news is there are loads of healthy sweets that will satisfy your sweet tooth that won't make you crash and actually encourage weight loss. Now, we don't have time to go into all the alternative sweeteners, and that's a very big topic in and of itself. So if you have a question about that, I'm happy to do some Q&A, and you can leave your question in the comment box afterwards. Before we move on to our last strategy, I want to give you some tools. If you'd love to have my healthy sweet treats that satisfy your sweet tooth recipe guide, just leave a comment in the comment box and I will get it to you. This guide contains healthy sweet treat recipes that are normally included with my private programs and cleanse programs, but I'd love to gift it to you with this uh, just for being here today. Um, so sugar is just one of the puzzle pieces, and there are 7 pieces to the puzzle that need to be addressed in order to ditch the cravings, lose the weight, and keep it off. Let's take a quick look at those pieces. In my work with private clients, we look at 7 puzzle pieces to kick sugar cravings and lose weight. Again, we don't have time to go into all of these here today, but I want you to know that curbing your sugar cravings is one of the biggest pieces, and understanding that first will quickly get you results. But if you're really looking for long-term sustainable success with your weight loss, you'll also want to address eating foods that boost your metabolism, balancing hormones that control weight loss and fat, exercise strategies to accelerate loss, meal planning and quick meal prep, tackling food sensitivities that may be causing weight loss resistance, and lifestyle factors that can have a huge impact on weight, which is namely sleep and stress. Have you tried to cut back on sugar and lose weight only to find the cravings and the weight keep creeping back on? That's because all 7 of the puzzle pieces generally need to be addressed, so you might need a little expert help and expert strategies. If you're ready to quickly ditch your cravings and jumpstart your weight loss success, and ready to transform the way you feel in a really healthy way, I want to invite you to an experience where I will personally guide you step by step through a 21-day detox program where you'll eat delicious and amazing foods that curb your sugar cravings while satisfying your taste buds. Going through this program will give your body the chance to resist and allow you to get back into the driver's seat when it comes to food. So you're not being controlled by your cravings, and as a result, you'll be able to get through your day without needing a sugar fix because you'll have delicious recipes and meal ideas that not only don't have sugar, but eating these foods will help you knock out those cravings. You're going to get through your day with more energy than ever before and energy that is stable throughout the day. If weight loss is something you're looking for, you're going to find that excess weight is going to start to release without you having to try very hard. You're also going to find that your mood is more stable and you feel less stressed and happier overall. And this happens because those sugar crashes actually cause you to feel blue, depressed, or what we like to call hangry. If you've struggled with cravings, weight, and fatigue, I'm guessing that you've probably tried other diets that haven't brought you the results that you're looking for. And you may be wondering why you should consider this program, and that's a good question. Detox is not a dirty word. It's about letting go of what doesn't serve your body anymore, emotionally and physically, and reclaiming your power. What results can you expect? Lose an average of 3 to 5 pounds in 21 days. Say goodbye to sugar cravings, unwanted weight gain, bloating, and feel more energized, clear, and confident. Feel de stressed, no matter what busy environment you live in, because you've let go of the extra toxins and are lightening the load of your body. And transition into a healthy lifestyle you can live with and leave those old habits behind. You're going to be amazed and delighted by the food that you're going to be eating on this detox. While you may be surprised to hear this, you won't be hungry on this detox. Everyone who participates in this program is amazed that they very quickly experience a significant boost to their energy and can lose weight without feeling deprived. And they find that the results are long term. Now, I have to be totally honest with you. You need to allow yourself 2 to 3 days for your body to adjust in the beginning. Remember, sugar is addictive, and it's more addictive than cocaine. So you may not get the DTs per se, but you will go through a withdrawal period. But it does go away and you'll experience great results. You may experience things like headaches, some moodiness, and even fatigue, but look at those as signs of your body releasing sugar. You'll receive 3 weeks of meal plans with 30 delicious recipes. You won't feel deprived with the amazing menu I've put together for you, and you'll know exactly what to buy and how to cook it. And if you don't follow the meal plans, you can simply follow the detox guidelines to create your own. However, most clients do love having a meal plan and the shopping list. Shoshana shared going through this program allowed her to feel like herself again. Her energy increased, her cravings decreased, and she felt better than she had in months. So here's a quick sneak peek at what you'll be eating. Some of my favorite dishes include kale and onion frittata, lemon basil chicken salad, black bean butter lettuce cups, butternut squash and sweet potato soup, chocolate banana froyo. Sounds more like a spa vacation. These recipes were all created by a whole food chef. They're delicious and easy to make while supporting your weight loss goals. And you'll receive over 30 amazing recipes, meal plans, and again, a shopping list. You'll get my complete sugar detox guidebook, so you'll know exactly what to do on your detox, and you'll get a daily protocol, which is an easy to follow document that you can print out and post on your fridge, have in your office or your bedroom so you can stay on track each day. So normally my sugar detox is $189, but I've cooked up a few bonuses for you and to pack this with massive value. Bonus number 1 is a kickoff call where I will go over how to prepare for the detox and what you can expect during the detox. There will be ample time for you to get your questions answered. Bonus number 2 is a closed Facebook group. You will have my personal support and the support of your fellow detoxers, which each step of the way, so you'll never feel stuck or like you're in this alone. It's private, so only the group members can see your posts. And for all of you action takers, I'm going to sweeten the deal a little bit more. If you register in the next 48 hours, you'll also receive a time-sensitive bonus, a 30-minute post-detox strategy session with me. This session is normally $147, but if you sign up in the next 48 hours, you'll receive this session as a gift to you. During the session, we'll talk about what the right next steps are for you so that you can extend the benefits of the detox. This is a chance for you to get one-on-one time with me and personalized advice to meet your specific needs, your life, and your unique physiology. So my client, Niti, shared that before starting this program, she just ate whatever was in front of her without much thought. Now she puts more thought into what she eats and thinks about what she's going to eat and how it's going to affect her. She shared that especially after she had her post-detox session with me where we talked about the detox, she was able to hone in on her symptoms that related them back to her diet, which she had never really taken note before the detox. She shares that she's more aware of her body and how she feels and how it is related to what she eats. And she's very grateful for that. So as you consider this, let's review everything that's included. You get the detox guidebook, daily protocol, 3 weeks of meal plan, Facebook support group, a kickoff call with me, phase 3 transition diet, a 30-minute bonus post-cleanse strategy session with me. This is a total value of over $600. But in addition to all of these bonuses, I have one more special gift just for you today. I'm gifting you $100 off when you sign up for the Sugar Detox. It's that important to me. I personally believe that sugar addiction is as big of a problem, if not bigger, epidemic than the opioid crisis. The detox starts January 6th. I don't plan to offer this program again for several months, so I encourage you to sign up now and save that $100. I've designed this program to give you the personal support and step-by-step guidance that will help you stop being a slave to sugar, boost your energy, and lose weight, all while enjoying your food and feeling fully supported along the way. You may have had trouble making changes in the past, and I want to show you that this time can be different, especially if you have somebody to encourage you, support you, and show you what to do step by step. I don't want anything to get in the way of your success. So if you're ready to jump right in, go ahead and respond to this email with a quick note, I'm ready to go. And I will get you all the information for you to sign up for just $89. I'm excited for those of you that are going to be joining this detox. It's going to be really transformative for you. So let's get back to our last strategy. Strategy number 3. Okay, let's talk about the final one for kicking your sugar cravings to the curb. And that is to balance your meals with protein, fat, and fiber. This is a biggie when it comes to kicking sugar cravings because when your meals include these 3 components, your blood sugar naturally gets balanced out and you'll find that your cravings decrease. An example of a balanced meal might be salmon, which is protein and contains healthy fat, and sauteed vegetables, whatever your favorites are, and that gives you fiber. And then you can add some toasted walnuts, which will provide some additional fat. Here are some examples of snacks that you might eat. Instead of just having an apple, have it with some almond or nut butter with no sugar added. Instead of having fruit and toast, Add an egg and some avocado on a whole grain toast. So this is what we discussed today. Let's review. We talked about why sugar is the #1 food making your sugar cravings worse, and how to reclaim control of your diet, including becoming a food detective and identifying hidden sugars. I shared exactly how and why sugar impacts your metabolism and fat burning potential. You learned my little known strategy of yin and yang for kicking sugar cravings and the strategy of primarily eating balanced foods. We discussed carbohydrates and how they're not all created equal. I shared the difference between simple and complex carbohydrates, as well as fake complex carbs that masquerade as healthy, and how they are affecting your cravings, energy, and weight. And I shared the power of eating, including fat, fiber, and protein, every time you eat. All right, I know you came here and you're listening today for a reason. You want to get rid of your sugar cravings and start losing weight. What are your top action steps from today? Will you start looking at label ingredients more? Choose to eat more balanced foods? Choose the right carbs? Make healthy sugary treat swaps? Join me for the sugar detox? Make sure to eat snacks and meals with protein, fat, and fiber? Which is it for you today? Thank you for being with me today. I loved sharing this information, and I can't wait to support you in your journey towards kicking sugar cravings and losing the extra weight. And again, if you would like to join, just reply to this email and I will get the information out to you on how to get started. Again, our detox starts January 6th.